Hi, it's Mrs Ritchie today reading chapter 8 of The Snowman. I hope you've enjoyed the story so far. Once the snowman was feeling cold enough again, he was clambering out of the freezer, ready to explore the rest of the house. James took him upstairs creakily into his bedroom and showed him all his toys. They sat down and played with James's train set, and James introduced him to every single one of his cuddly animals. The snowman liked his polar bear best. They even crept into Grandma's room. Luckily, she was sleeping soundly and snoring quite loudly, as she did sometimes. By her bed was a photograph of James, who the snowman recognised at once. In the bathroom, James showed him how he brushed his teeth. The snowman wanted to smell everything on the shelf: the shampoo, Grandma's special lavender soap, which she didn't like anyone else using, and the talcum powder. James showed him how to shake the powder out. He shouldn't have done that because, before he knew it, the snowman was going wild with the talcum powder, shaking it all over the bathroom, all over himself, and all over James too. After that, James got himself out of the house as quickly as he could before any other disasters could happen. The whole house smelled of talcum powder. They ran out into the garden. The snowman took one look at the swing and wanted to have a go, but he was too big to fit on it. So James sat on it and the snowman pushed him. Higher and higher he went, so high that James felt he was almost flying. Then suddenly the snowman wasn't pushing it anymore. He was running towards the trampoline and climbing on. After only one bounce, he just seemed to love it. James ran over and climbed on as well. They held hands and bounced and bounced and bounced. James had never bounced so high in his life. This was the best fun he'd ever had. In the end, they had to stop because they were laughing so much. Maybe it was their laughter that woke up Big and Little. They began neighing and braying from their stables. The snowman wanted to find out who was making all that noise. He took James's hand and off they ran to the stables. Big and Little were only too pleased to see them. No one usually came to see them in the middle of the night, though they thought it was rather strange when they were led out into the snowy field, and they thought it stranger still when James got up on Little and the snowman got up on Big. But they didn't mind, not one bit. Nights in the stables could be long and boring. Off they trotted, and then away they galloped through the snow. It was all James could do to hang on. Up in the big oak tree, the owl was watching everything, too amazed to even hoot. The snowman rode Big as if he'd been riding all his life. Big and Little had never galloped so fast before, and they'd never had so much fun. They were soon completely puffed out, and by the time they took them back to their stables, so were James and the snowman. That was when the snowman saw Dad's tractor. He walked round and round it, chuckling all the time, his smile becoming broader and broader. He swept the snow off the seat, climbed up and sat on it. "Well," he said with a twinkle in his eye, "how does this thing work? Are you coming or not?" James wasn't going to miss this. Up he climbed and sat on the snowman's lap, just like he did with Dad. He showed him where the key was. Dad always left it in. He showed him the gears and the steering wheel and the throttle. That's all the snowman needed. With a turn of the key, the engine started up. With a grinding of the gears and a push on the throttle, the tractor began to move, slowly at first, jerkily, but soon they were out in Oak Tree Field and roaring along, bouncing along. Round and round the tree they went. Up on his branch the owl was getting giddy, watching them. Round and round his head went. Down the hill they roared, and along the river. They scared the deer in the woods, woke up the badgers and foxes, and then came thundering up the hill again, back into Oak Tree Field. The snowman drove the tractor like a proper farmer, as if he'd been doing it all his life. He chortled and chuckled and laughed out loud. He loved every moment of it. So did James. He never wanted the ride to end. Okay, hope you enjoyed it.